Andy, and this is with Ben. Okay, anyways, I'm a guest host today. Ryan is out, and in honor of Ryan, if you've ever lost a whole year's gains in one day, hit that like.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
What's up, guys? Good morning. I'm really happy to have our guest today because me and 13 have been having a great conversation. I always say that we have a great pre-show, and hopefully we can have just as good of a session talking to you guys today. It's great to see you guys again, but if we can bring 13 on. Good morning, 13.
Hi, everybody. How's it going this morning? You ready to trade?
So I don't know about you, but I always get nervous once I'm live, but beforehand, I'm all good. It's perfect. And then as soon as we go live, even if it's like people that I know or whatever, it's like, got to get used to it, you know?
Yeah, well, the cat's out of the bag now, but we have to make the best of it. Isn't that right, everybody?
So if you'd like to go over the runners from yesterday real quick, briefly, before.
Well, let's see. Yesterday, I had mentioned some stocks that I thought were going to do well based on some of the boxes they've been checking, like low float, reverse splits, things of that nature. We talked about TENX and HSDT. Those didn't really pan out very well yesterday. Not like Palantir did, PLTR. That one was moving off of earnings. We were talking about that one getting up to 22. Finally did later on in the day. But that was just one of a few that was much better than what we were looking for. As far as today, we have some other ones that we could start looking at. And if you're ready, I could start listing those off.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead. I think you're going to probably start with Holo, Holo.
Holo, HOLO. Yeah, that's one of the ones I have on my list. They're planning on joining the Communications Industry Association. I thought that was funny because it's CIA. But I don't know why it's moving that much off this news. That's the news I could find. We do have a 3.86 million float. So this is still able to get pushed around a bit. And we also had a reverse split, 10-for-1 reverse split on February 2nd. So that was last week. Checking some of the boxes on why this could be moving. So we have that one to go to look at. And it's already started to move pretty handily in the pre-market. I saw that in the chat. Some of you were already mentioning it. Whether or not this continues out of the gate, we'll have to wait and see. It might come down at first, might blast up. We'll have to find out.
Okay, so
I don't know if
I have accurate information here, but I got from the platform I'm looking at here, I got 4.57 million in the float, and it looks like institutional ownership is really low on this one. What I like to see is that we are rising on that 65. I really wish that I could share my brokerage screen right now, guys, but I didn't figure out how to do that without sharing my whole entire broker. But anyways, guys, we're right at that basically nice consolidation. We're pulling right back to the support on the 65 and bouncing perfectly in the pre-market. I'd be really careful though, because these things right at market open tend to just drop and continue to drop. So I got to wait and see what it does at market open. I'm guessing the same thing for you, 13, right?
Yeah, that I don't want this to be another situation like the other ones I was just talking about from yesterday at TENX, where they were just ripping in the pre-market, and then as soon as the regular session opened, we had a small pop, and then they just dropped and bled all day. Don't want to see that.
And Holo? Yeah,
I'm going to go on with the next one.
I was just looking into the news here with Holo.
Oh yeah, they were, like I said, they were planning on joining the Communications Industry Association. Apparently that's important news that they're planning on doing something. But that's what I could find. If you find something else, yeah, please let me know. But that's all I could find on our news feed this morning as of 5:20 a.m.
Yeah, let's go to the next one. But before we do, I just want to say good morning, everybody. Good morning, Beach Bum. Everybody in the chat, great to see you guys.
Oh, absolutely, Beach Bum. Kel, Rick, Becca, Richard, the Crow, you're all there. So the next one I have, CYTO. This one is moving because they released some results of their peptide-based, I think it was a delivery method for their drug. Let me see here. Peptide-based delivery platform shown to enhance potency of commonly used gene delivery method as published in peer-reviewed journal. So they are showing that their delivery method has potency, and they have a 1.57 million float, and they just recently had a 20-for-1 reverse split on December 13th. So checking those boxes as well.
Man, that one is that would have been a really difficult trade to try to trade pre-market, especially as a new trader. You'd be like, what is going on here? This is how stocks die 101, guys. I would really love to show you what I'm seeing here, but maybe I can get it on the 1 minute. Hey, Alyssa, can you put the 1 minute and the 65 EMA on that?
Okay.
Yes.
Anyways, when we drop off, I look at the 15-second, guys, and when we drop off that 65 EMA on the 15-second on these penny stocks, you have really nice consolidation. At the moment we dropped off that, we came back up and rejected off of it, and we just continued down until we dropped below 200 and the 365. And this is exactly how stocks die 101. That's what I call it. But it doesn't mean that it's dead and can't come back into play. This is how every single play almost that I've ever lost money on. This is exactly what they look like. So.
Yeah, I'll say this about CYTO. I'm looking at a 1 minute chart now, and I use the 65 EMA as well. We're not only trading beneath it, but I'm using some of the other EMAs. They're crossing through that to the downside as well. That's never a good sign the way I trade either. One thing I will say about this though is that we are coming down to a demand zone that we've kind of been made over the past few days. So if there is going to be any buying for a rebound in this, it's going to be down towards this area. So I think that if we stay down here and not go lower, it could be a decent move out of the gate for when we open in the regular session. But this is the end of the line as far as I'm concerned with this one. So it needs to not move lower.
One thing, if you guys don't mind me going over this real quick, something like CYTO, I had the same situation with XBIO a long time ago. And I had seen that it was just like this. We had given back basically the entire move, and we were just above support. And I decided that was a time for me to put in a decent sized position. And then basically it broke support, and I'm like, oh, it's just really trying to shake me, right? Because I'm major on these conspiracy theories. And at that moment, I'm like, so it's just trying to shake me when it broke support. So I added some more. And at that moment, when I added some more, the thing just slammed. And I was losing too much money for me to handle at that time. My emotions just deer in the headlights. And basically from there, it just kept on going and going. It was the biggest, most, ugly move that I had experienced with the deer in the headlights.
Yeah, I won't deny that I've been there before. Deer in the headlights moment when you've gotten to a wrong trade. So did you want to say anything else on CYTO?
Just let it flow, man. I think GLT.
Yeah, Jonathan Cooper is mentioning GLT. That's another one I have on my list here. This is interesting because what's happening here with GLT is that a company named Berry, B-E-R-Y is a ticker, they're spinning off part of their company, and then they're merging that spin-off with GLT. Now, I tried to see if I could quickly find any figures about what about the merger and what the aspects are of that. I didn't have time to, so I don't know if there's a better price target we could or different levels we could trade in this, because I'm not sure what the deal entails, how much it's going to be worth to GLT. So, but they do have a 38 million float, so it's not necessarily small, but it's not big either. So this could see some movement around here, but that's why GLT is moving right now, is because they are merging with the Berry spinoff.
So we got off of 128. We're up 268. We have another 100% ripper. Holo and GLT are 100% rippers this morning, and we got SMX trailing right behind it. As far as looking at this GLT, I noticed that a lot of these will get rejected at the declining 200 EMA, but we are just above that. So 236, if we can pull back and get a nice bounce at 236, that might make this interesting. But I'm looking for that upper shadow and possibly getting a real body rejection off the 236.
Gotcha.
That's my first idea as far as this goes. So I wouldn't want to be too, I wouldn't want to swing for the fences in this. But if it does hold for that support, this could be a really nice mover.
Yeah, I'm gonna just wait and see what happens with this one. Typically, when we get these mergers after the announcement, the price runs up to where the price per share buyout figure is. And we don't have that quite with this yet. So I'm not sure where this could end up. It could be higher, it could be lower. I want to see what the market does with it when we open first. If we're cool with that one, the only other one that I have here that I thought would be interesting is ELTX. This is moving on the publication of preclinical data. They have a 5.87 million float. I don't have any other data beyond that, but I will put in some levels here once I get a chance.
Can you repeat that ticker?
It is ELTX. And yes, the Crow, DWAC, Mark, Rum, and Fun are all still in play. It sounds like a party almost. We're having fun. We're having rum. Bring Mark and DWAC.
You know what I like? One of the first things I saw in the chat was, "What are you trading today, Smoke Tuna?"
Yeah, I said that too. I'm going to also take a look at LUMN while you're looking at that. I want to see what Mr. Hoflinger was talking about.
Yeah, I can't lie. After seeing all the plays that Smoke Tuna calls, I'm looking forward to hearing about it as well.
So Lumen Technologies. This was now. I wonder if so they just had earnings yesterday. I think we also had Microvision had earnings as well. But anyway, this is off earnings. It looks like they must have said something good in their conference call. Let's see what the sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just noticing that the SPY looking pretty nice this morning as well.
It is just an absolute beast, and I can talk a little bit about that in a second. But Lumen has 15% float shorted and 10 days to cover, so this could be squeezing a bit here too. Just to keep that in mind. All right, so the SPY. This thing is just when you think it's going to start going down, it turns around and this keeps on going up. Let me see what I got here. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I mean, I really feel bad. Well, I guess maybe I don't, but I was going to say I feel bad for the shorts, and the people that are consistently, revamping their short thesis on the SPY. It's like, guys, why don't we just wait for price to tell us rather than us telling price what we think it should be doing because of whatever idea we have, some macro or, economic data?
Yeah, I think it's just because we're so extended. The overall market, the broader market is just so extended that we're expecting it to come back in. And so when we start seeing signs that it might, everybody gets all excited. And then we start thinking, oh, it's time to get into the short moves, let's buy SQQQQ, let's get everything, let's get all the, the bear ETFs, all this. And we get crushed.
See, one of the things I can say about extended like that, though, is like when we pulled back, I had this thought that, okay, this is not enough. Looking at all these other things like Netflix, Roku, and all the bigger players, PayPal, whatever was happening there, in the market, I'm looking at the SPY and I'm thinking this isn't enough. So I'm leery of trading it down there, And then when we're extended over and over again, I've been leery of, oh, well, we're overextended now, so I don't want to trade this. I think I got rid of all that. It's just basically trade what's there today and put the risk in and stick to it, and things go a lot better than when we think about what should be taking place or how that we're not far enough this way or we're too far in this way.
Yeah, we got about 30 seconds before we open here. And, I'm just going to try to stick to my rules, my trade plans, try to keep things safe because, yesterday was not too encouraging. We didn't have a whole lot to trade, and it seemed like the market dried up much quicker than normal. So I'm just going to be careful once again and see what the market gives me.
Yeah, guys. So good luck today. Like 13 said, market is about to open here.
All right.
I don't know about you guys, but I get excited about this every single day. I love that bell. There it is.
Is that Trade Station?
Oh yeah, Trade Station. That's my jam. I love Trade Station. Trade Station, if you guys don't know, they were the broker before any other broker, as far as I know, that they offered free commissions, $0 commissions for military, for those who served and have served. and I thought that was phenomenal because commissions then were what, $10 plus for a round trip from E-Trade, and even more if you're going with TD. So I ended up really enjoying not having to pay those commissions.
Just watching some of these, and thanks for that. I did use TradeStation for a time. I still have an account, but I'm not using them right now. Just watching some of these out of the gate here. Hollow not doing a whole lot. Or I'm sorry, Saito not doing a whole lot. Hollow is trying to not prevent itself from going down, not succeeding.
Okay, TELL is right down to this 365 off the 65. Like I said on House Stock Style 101, I'm looking for potential support right here on TELL, all the way back up for retest at 53.64. But these are really cheap penny stocks, only 50 cents. So I'd be really cautious with something like this.
Yeah, I will be sticking with penny stocks that are over $1. Those under $1 ones, they get real scary, and I know I have to go larger with those since we're talking pennies in order for it to be worth the trade. But that's just I
can tell you what's moving that's not a penny stock. PLTR. We're still in the red today. 11 million traded, but PLTR is looking pretty nice.
Looks like LAES is taking off. This is a one that we've traded before. Bit of a spread, but it's moving up out of the gate.
Yeah, Palantir we had unusual volume coming into Palantir, and I know a lot of people love and hate this play.
I think it's an interesting company, and they just got another $650 million contract, I believe, yesterday. Oh, it looks like 10X, TENX, the one we were trading yesterday, that is now halted to the upside. In a weird twist of events, this one's coming back.
TENX, that's, yeah, you said that was yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me get the notes on that one. This is this one got a grant of patent allowance, very low float, 292,000 shares in the float. Had a 80-for-1 reverse split on January 3rd.
And we are halted in TENX right now. TENX halted at 9:31 and 38 seconds.
Yes, sir.
So 9:36 and 38 seconds potential for this to open. And we might run right into the VWAP here, what, 15:30-ish?
Looks like GLT is bleeding out of the open. CYTO is not doing a whole lot. Hollow is moving.
Great, yeah, right out the gate here.
Yeah, it had a down move initially, and then it said, nah, we gonna run. I should start putting in some levels for this one.
So how do you find your levels?
I look to the left usually. That's if there's nothing to draw on from looking into the past, then it's gonna have to be one of those. I go to the fib retrace or fib levels, and that's about it. That's the only thing I use. I know there's others that we can use, but those are the ones I use.
I basically the same as you. Look left, previous levels, but I know a lot of people are into the fibs. I probably, I don't know, maybe I should get into it, but I've not done that yet.
I typically don't use fibs. It's really only when we're in blue sky territory and I need something, something to give me some data on how high we're going or where there could be a potential top. It's better to have an idea than to have nothing to go on, in my opinion.
It looks like Snap is getting unusual volume as well. Didn't they just had earnings, right?
Yeah, I remember they didn't do too well on their earnings, so this could be, a move up from that. It's like a bounce. Okay, so Hollow gave all that back. Look at something else now.
I love penny stocks.
Looks like CYTO might be getting ready. I mean, the volume isn't great in CYTO. It did have a decent volume candle here a few minutes ago. So we might be getting, okay, now we start, it's just kind of spread. Sorry for, stuttering and everything. I'm just kind of like going back and forth on the thought here. It's a little bit, got a 5-cent spread right now. It had some decent volume just a moment ago. It might get going. It's just not moving fast enough for me to determine that yet.
Oh, dude, no worries at all. And yeah, just right now looking at Snap with this volume, and we broke north of that 65. So if we got a really nice move in Snap, I mean, we could possibly even get all the way to like a 1362, 1352 potential rejection. But that would mean that we would have to get back up to the 1239 and break that.
So Palantir blasted off to 22. And now the volume's really moving with this one right now. So this might be a good trade here. I just need to find an entry.
Which one was that? Sorry.
PLTR, Palantir. It's really trying to push its way up through 22 and over 2205. And there it goes. Palantir is on the way. The next level I have for Palantir where there's a lot of size is 2230. We might get up to there and stop the upward movement.
All right, so I went ahead with Snap just in case we do get a sizable move, and I went ahead and I bought a long strangle here. Worst case scenarios, I'm going to lose a little bit in theta, but I might actually end up making a decent amount there today.
PLTR 2226, 27, trying to get to 2230. It's eating that.
Like I told you guys, anybody that doesn't trade options and you're not trading these strategies, basically I'm buying a put, I'm buying a call, and they're both at the money, in the money, at the money, and pretty much if we pass the break-even point on either of those, then I'll start making profit in the overall position and I close them both. Or I can work it to where if we come down and I see a predictable area of support or whatever, I can go ahead and close one side, but that's a little riskier. And I do well with it, but I'm not sure, if I'd recommend it for if you don't know what you're doing.
Palantir got up to 2230 where that supply got rejected. Now it's trying to go for another attempt. It might break through it. I don't know. It's getting the volume, so it could. And if it does, it's probably going to say maybe at 2235 until maybe 2250. But it's all right. There we go. Broke through 2230. There's 2235, 36. Lots of orders coming in between here and 2250, so we might see some pullback.
And the same thing with PLTR. Just looking for a bigger move, so I went ahead and put a long strangle on that as well. Basically, all I need is a bigger move. I don't need it to go up or down. I just need it to move and not consolidate and stay where it's at. If it stays where it's at, then theta's going to kick in and start eating away my position. But it gives me time to be on the show here, talk to you guys, and do whatever else. Like in my daily life, you guys, I'm hitting the trails or going to Disney or whatever, and I need something to where if I look away from my trade, that I'm not gonna lose everything really quick.
I saw somebody ask, "How do I buy stock?" Says Christina Louise. How do I buy stock? Do I have to go through a broker? Can I do myself? Do you want to take this one?
How do I buy stock? Do I have to go through a broker? Can I do it myself? So basically, I have several brokers. I know popular ones. Webull was Robinhood back in the day. I like TradeStation. Anyways, there's a lot of different brokers to go with, but I believe you definitely would need a broker. And I can't tell you what to do, but I think that definitely learn as much as you can if you're before you do that. There's options for paper trading. I know a lot of different platforms, even platforms that are not brokers now, offer simulated trading, and I think that's a good way to get started before you even get into a broker, possibly to just get a feel for how these things really work first.
Yeah, I hope you find that helpful, Christina. And if you are going to join the fray, hopefully you stick around and get entertained by what we have to say about it. Looks like Palantir is finding a top here for the time being. It's coming back in 22.46. If you got in on that one, you did all right. You did all right. What do we got next here? What else is moving? EMR. EKS say EMR. I'm going to take a look at that one.
As I've told you guys a lot here, I'm looking for the top percentage gainers as far as like pennies, rippers, or anything like that. And you know, a lot of times the gappers, those are the ones that they say gap and crap. But then, you know, the ones that climb the list, those are usually the ones that get a little more interesting. So it's a higher value trade if I see it climbing the list after market opens.
So EMR, when the EKS is mentioning, this one had a had earnings this morning. Looks like they had beats. Okay, so moving off earnings, you know, it's got a 570 million share float, so not going to be one of the kind of movers that we're talking about with these other ones that are penny stocks. But that doesn't mean this isn't a great company. So this is there's one thing for you to trade. Gap and go higher most of the time. Yeah, gap. Is NYCB halted? Asks Richard. I'm going to look at that one because I know that one is having some problems. They're going under investigation or being sued by shareholders. Not that doesn't happen, but you don't want to see that with a bank that's struggling. Take a look here.
And Roblox also getting unusual volume. RBLX up 11.72%, 7.9 million traded on Roblox.
Yes, NYCB is halted. Let me see if I can get any news for you.
And what's awesome in Benzinga Pro, guys, is it says right here at the top, why is it moving? Roblox shares trading higher after the company reported 25% bookings growth in Q4. So another earnings play here with Roblox.
Okay, so it looks like the sentiment around NYCB is that they are going under. They're calling it First Republic Bank 2.0. So it just seems as though, and I don't have any definitive data on why this is doing so badly, other than they had an absolutely horrendous earnings report. They may be just on the wrong side of rates. There might be some mismanagement of loans or treasuries or whatever they got themselves into that is just losing them money right now. And this is how First Republic went down. It's how Signature Bank went down. This is how they might end up going down.
Okay, and TENX, the one that you had called earlier here, that basically I do like to look cool, I guess, and it looks pretty cool because it just went almost to the penny what I had said as far as a predictable area of rejection, and we just hit pretty hard off that. Looks like we're going to go into a halt as well, coming off that VWAP.
That was TENX. Okay. These old girlfriends, they like to come back and haunt you.
And there we go. It is halted. Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier, guys, is we're not taking out at least these things. We're not marrying these things. And I don't have any X's in Texas.
Big Bill is asking if there's any good marijuana stocks. We had one yesterday, AFGY. I think that's what it was, or AGFY, whatever Agrify is. Yeah, AGFY. And this is more along the lines of, cultivation. I just don't think the marijuana stocks are really in favor until we get the rescheduling done. I know that's something that the current administration is trying to push. Trying to get it changed so it doesn't come with such huge penalties if you're using it or own it. But until that happens, I don't really think marijuana stocks are going to be the theme until that legislation comes through. Sorry if that doesn't help.
And guys, I put on I'm always obsessed with TBLT pretty much. And right after the reverse split, they did nothing but pull back. And I had a small position in there and just decided to cut that loss and move on because that's not really the way my account grows. I don't know why I think that as I grow as a trader, I'm shedding these bad habits, but that particular one, I want to be there for when that move actually takes place. And now that I closed it, you might want to keep an eye on that.
Getting a mention for B-Frog, I think.
And I don't know if you guys noticed, but Alyssa was on the screen for a brief moment there.
What was she doing?
I
There
think
she
was
is.
gonna say something. Good
Holly's
morning, Alyssa.
moving.
Hey, no, I was literally just gonna mention one of the comments, but like 13 got to it first.
What's that?
The where do you trade stocks? Like what platform or whatever. Hi chat. Hi stream.
Okay, Hollow's moving now. Trying to break through 370.
And while we're looking at that, TENX looking for what, 9:48 and 58 seconds.
It seems like Hollow's been having a hard time getting through this supply zone that we created toward the end of pre-market here. Popped up to 418 and came right back, and now we're trying to get through it again. So this could, I mean, you tell me if you're seeing something different, but it seems as though we get past these levels here, we could see some real movement in this.
Hey, Alyssa, will you right-click on that chart and make the background black? Go to
Yes.
settings.
Background.
And right there, background.
All right.
Better.
Having a hard time getting past three. Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, no, not at all, man.
Okay, so Hollow had a hard time getting through 374.
Introduce me. Hi, I'm Alyssa. I'm actually the new producer of live trading. I'm always in the background helping Ryan and 13, but since Ryan's gone, I'll be here. Maybe in the future I'll pop in and just throw some things here and there. But you actually mostly find me on Benzinga's Twitter. So if you're not following at Benzinga, follow at Benzinga.
Absolutely.
Yeah, throw a like out there for Alyssa. Show some love. And Jay Wild, Hollow, look way left, 11. Yeah, you know, I have some levels from looking left. And so the next one I have, and if you have a better one, you tell me, Jay. I'm looking at 575 as the next level before we could see some pullback. But we need to get up there first. Jay, if you have some other levels, please let me know. It's getting through, it got through 374. Now we're in the 380s. This thing could get moving.
I don't know about you guys, but when I'm looking at the SPY right here, I'm looking at that if we get a rejection right where we're at, this could be a really nice place for a longer term consolidation or a broader consolidation. And there goes Hollow.
Woo, and then we're halted. We're going
right into a halt. Yep. And it is beautiful when that happens, when you're in it. And I think that's what generates that FOMO when you're not.
Yeah. Now it could be interesting with Hollow. We could see this, you know, these moves up out of these halts. But this is, you know, one of the stages where if I'm going to be trading these halts, that I'd be doing, you know, order cancels order or bracket orders, so I can limit my downside risk if they decide, if the market decides now we're going to take this thing down. I'm not going to get stuck in a huge move downwards. Remember, this has 3.86 million float. I think you had just a slightly higher number, Andy. So this, you know, this thing can really move. I don't even know what we've traded today, but I bet we're already past the normal, the average volume today. Oh yeah. Oh wow. Okay, so we've traded almost 40 million shares of this company, which is almost 10 times the float. So the float's made a round trip 10 times, folks. Be careful.
And that is definitely something that penny traders are looking for, guys. Whenever we have that rotation in the float, it makes it a little more appetizing if it gets to a really nice, you know, any of your setups, you know, your levels that you're looking for your trades.
Great job, Jane Smith. Took the money at 413. Got out of there with the halt before the halt actually occurred. Nailed it.
And we got another one moving here. Sono, SONO, up 17.4%, 2.3 million traded here.
Let's take a look at Sonos.
Sono shares trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q1 financial results. So that's another one of these earnings plays.
Oh, earnings season's so fun. What do you think about these Mag 7s?
What's that?
What do you think about the Mag 7?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
The Magnificent Seven, the stocks that are pretty much propping up the entire market. You know, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta.
Yeah, as far as that goes, I was just looking in bar chart today at the market overview, and one of the coolest. That's one of the cooler pages for all these different tools out there. That's theirs that I really enjoy. But anyways, I was just looking. Tech is killing it, you know, and it's basically holding up the whole market, like you said.
Yeah, and with that, we could take a look at SMCI. This has been one of those major runners, and it dropped out of the market open, and now it's ripping. I mean, this thing just does nothing but want to go up every single day.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but when I first started trading, any of those like free tools that let you sort of get that glimpse of what you need, and I wanted to be mobile back then. I wanted to be entirely mobile. So, you know, I was really looking for every mobile tool that I could find. And then I got to where I didn't want to be mobile at all. I was sitting at my desk every day and things were really good. And now I don't know what's happened in my evolution as a trader, but I do really well and maybe even better mobile now than I do at the desk because I don't have that emotional pull to get like angry or, you know, have an emotional reaction to these things.
Yeah, you know, I've done mobile too, but one of the things that started to happen with me is like I need to look at more things. I need more screens. So I don't do mobile as much, but I do still place trades from time to time on a mobile when I think the time is right. PLTR, this thing is is trying to push 2260 now. Para is starting to rebound. Paramount. What did they actually get some news with Warner Brothers?
Paramount. Sorry about that. No, go ahead. It's okay.
I was just going to say something about Paramount and Warner Brothers. They're still trying to do some kind of a merger. I don't think that's going to really do a whole lot for them. They need to make some better content. These streamers just have a big content problem, in my opinion, except for maybe Netflix.
Do you know there's another one coming?
Another
9:53 and 11 seconds for Holo. I'm looking at.
Tell us more.
I guess Disney, Fox, and Warner Bros. Are combining to make a new sports streaming service.
I saw that.
Yeah, just saw it last night.
That's wow, we got a lot of halts. We got NYCB halted, Holo halted, TENX halted. I mean, that's only three.
I got to say, off of that, another plug for Benzinga Pro, though, is one of the things I absolutely love for my trading is that you can get audible alerts that let you know every single time one of these things are halting. And a lot of times, the penny rippers, they're going to halt at least once usually. Now, maybe not every time, but, you know, there are stocks that are of interest that are halting every day.
Yeah, when the volume is just absolutely absurd and this thing is just rocketing away, you can pretty much bet on that thing getting halted. It just really, it's going to depend upon the amount of volume it gets in the move.
And here we go. We're out of that halt on Holo, HOLO.
All right.
We have 217%, guys.
How high does it go? So 492 is the high print. Looks like this thing's getting pushed down, but we have some support about 415. Looking at other stuff, Sonos is coming back in from that pop. Paramount, when I was mentioned earlier, PLTO or PTLO. Lynn Williams is mentioning, oh, you're mentioning Palantir. I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about Portillo's. I was like, that one's screaming, huh? But Palantir, no, that one is the screamer. Paramount doesn't look like that bounce was really materializing. I'll look at that later. GLT, I know that QN has been mentioning this all morning. We talked about this one briefly. This one was the one that's merging with the Berry spinoff. Yeah, you know, I don't have, you know, figures on where the price per share could land because I haven't read through any of the acquisition report. If you have, and you know what some of those levels are, please, by all means, QN, share those with us. We would love to know.
And just took a little bit of profit on Hollow here. We basically, guys, on this 15-second that I'm looking for, I'm going to have to show you guys this one day. Maybe Alyssa could show you the 1 minute to give you sort of an idea. But we got the 65, 200, and the 365 EMA. We break north of the 65. Anyways, when we pulled back, we generally are going to pull back to that 9-20 relationship. And the 20 ends up being the spot to where, like, for example, the reason I know this is if I'm short and we pop like that and we pull back, I'm like, oh, relief. It's not relief. It's going straight to that 20, which is the launch pad for the next move. It's going to send us into the stratosphere. And that's usually what happens whenever I'm trying to hold anything that's short. So all my lessons I've learned from pain.
Looks like LAES, very, very slow mover, but it is making some big moves. And it's likely because it's got a decent spread on it, 5-cent spread. But this one, we mentioned that it had a nice pop out of the gate, came back in, and now we're going higher. So
were you talking about hold on, say that again. Which one?
This was LAES. Just very, very slow moving, but when it pops, it pops. And I apologize for moving around so much.
Oh, dude, that's what we do as a trader, right?
Yeah. I know it's just difficult to bring up what I'm talking about on the screen, and then the next thing you know, I'm moving on to something else and like, oh, look at this one now. So I apologize if I'm going all over the place for anybody out there. This is the animal that is GRDI. Oh, this one.
Look at Hollow. Beautiful. And as I always say, guys, 5 minute, we got this huge upper shadow on Hollow. So we are very precariously next to this huge upper shadow. Generally, it doesn't mean that it's not going to break out and move to a higher high, but a lot of times I'm looking to pull back to that real body level in the 5 minute and get that real body rejection just below that upper shadow. So that's just as much of an interest as moving to a higher high. And then being up 211%, that I'm not sure how many people are really looking to get into stocks at 200%, but I'm crazy enough to where I do.
Yeah, and the point about the upper shadow here, I think part of this and the reason why we're concerned about these is that there's some traders that are trapped up in there, and they're going to want to get out as soon as possible. So you're going to see some sell orders. They don't want to hold that back. Maybe there's other reasons. That's what I believe it to be. When you have the upper shadow like that, you can guarantee there's a buyer up in that range that regrets buying, and they're going to want to get out. And now they ship them all out. Now we're up to 5.
And this thing, that's what you said, right? 5?
Mm-hmm. Got up to 5.
So it looks like we both get to pat ourselves on the back today. We get to look like gurus.
You kill it, Jay Summers. You keep killing it. It's like Sono that was being mentioned earlier might be gearing up to make another move. If we get this volume expansion, then I think that's what will happen.
13, do you remember the exact number that you said that you were looking at for your levels on Hollow? Because I believe we're going right to it.
Yeah, let me just bring that up real quick. 575 was the next level I have. And that could be one of the first levels that we get where we either see an absolute huge breakthrough, or we get a rejection and it comes back maybe towards VWAP.
So I'm going to take it that this thing's had quite a few reverse splits. I think you said it had at least one reverse split.
It just had a reverse split last week, a 10-for-1 on the 2nd.
This reminds me a little bit of MULN when they had their last reverse split.
I hear people talking about that so much, Mullen. I don't think I traded it, but is that one of those EV stocks?
Yeah, I think they started out and they had these little tiny like golf cart electric vehicles or something, and then they're moving into bigger and better areas. And then as all small penny stocks, there was I didn't really get into it. I saw it, like you said, everywhere, and I don't really get onto the hype with those things. I was telling you earlier, what I do is I put on a position that I don't mind losing the entire position. Well, guess what? I did that like 3 times before I actually made profit in MULN, because every time I touched it, it just came down and came down until finally, unexpected in that reverse split, it beasted out, and it was like, wow, nice day. Give me my money back.
Yeah, that's been the theme with these reverse splits, is that once that happens, it seems to artificially create a high short interest, even though that's not what's happening. And these things just run, and their float becomes so much lower, they can get pushed around a whole lot easier. Zoltan, I just want to address it real quick. Zim getting there, getting to under 12 that we were talking about yesterday. Yeah, it's getting pretty close, 12, 14. So we talk about Zim a lot, and there's a whole theme around this with the Suez Canal and Red Seas being having all the shipping containers going through, or container ships going through. They're getting targeted by Houthi rebels. I don't think this whole theme is over. One thing that it's interesting about Zim is that they are actually in the middle since January of negotiating their annual contracts, and they're doing this while shipping rates are high. So when they report, I'm anticipating that they're going to say a lot of good things about how much cash flow they're going to have this year, how much income and how big their dividends are going to be, because their dividends are based upon their revenue. So I'm expecting some good things out of this, but I want to see this go under 12 first.
And PLTR is an absolute monster here, 4.8%, 53 million traded. I have went into the green on my strangled I was telling you guys about here.
Hollow's almost there, 547. Just kind of holding that area. GLT still not coming back yet. The Crow is mentioning GRDI and NVIV. These were stocks that we traded yesterday, or at least brought them up. GRDI.
I'll tell you one of the most irritating things about trading a strangle is when we consolidate right when it goes into profit. Because as you know, with options, guys, consolidation, that's when you get that theta burn. So whatever profit you just had, likely you're going to go back to zero.
GRDI, just to remind those about this one. This was on the trading block for Monday, and they had a recent IPO. So that's one of the reasons why we are getting the movement. They have a 29.68 million float. Will you think it goes to 23 to 30? I don't, I won't doubt that. It's entirely possible. I know this is getting a lot of attention, and a lot of people still don't know what it does, but it is an AI analytics company that analyzes data as it comes in. So imagine, like, let's say it's really in the big into the military space. You have assets deployed. You want to know statistics about them, how they're doing, how they're being managed, logistics. You're going to get a lot quicker real-time data using Palantir, and that's my understanding of what their big product does. And they have several different operating systems that you can do that on. I think Gotham, Foundry are a couple of the ones they use.
And Hollow also pulling back straight down towards that 65 rising level at 456 right now.
What are we looking at if Hollow loses momentum? We'll probably look at another stock. I mean, as far as levels for Hollow, could pull back to, I'll be looking for a VWAP first. And if it doesn't hold that, then we have that supplier we created in a pre-market at about 380 that we could see some support. But VWAP first, which currently is at 417, 418.
Yeah, Hollow so far, beautiful, holding that rising 65, guys. That's what I tell you guys. Like, the shorts are in jail, and then the longs are in jail. And as long as the shorts are in jail, I think that it's looking good for the longs. And as soon as we break that level and get below there, then we're sort of in no man's land. And this thing could easily drop back down to 367 at this point if it breaks below this 459 rising level.
That's right. Don't forget, this thing has a low float. Very low float, 3.86 million.
And then you got to love those ones, the outliers, or maybe they're not outliers with pennies, but the ones that when they break through, they break all your levels and they go either to support or below support real fast. Those are those are really fun, and that's why I don't trade big size in what I call garbage. So.
Still waiting for Sono to find a reversal point. I had thought that it might have found that by now, but it's not there yet. So we'll just have to keep waiting and see.
You mentioned ALUT today.
ALUT? No, I didn't. This one we've traded before. This one's taking off right now. Okay, I see why I haven't traded this one before. This one's under $1, but it is getting some pretty good movement here.
And 13, if you don't mind, if you can hold this down for a minute, I'll be right back.
Sure, absolutely. All right, so the next thing that I wanted to take a look at was, okay, so I looked at Sono. GRDI, it popped, and now we're dropping. We are back down beneath VWAP and all the EMAs that I use. So I'm not sure about that one. That was the IPO one. And the next one I'm going to be looking at, see how Palantir's going. Well, we almost got to $23. Looks like we're going to get to $23 here in just a short order. There is a pretty good amount of shares looking to be sold at that level. So we could see some pullback once we get up there around $22.98 or $23 even. So anticipate that. What's next? LAES had found a top of 332 and now just coming back into VWAP. I see some pretty big size has developed there for selling at 327. They have a 85,000 share order out right now. SMX, another push. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so we just kind of been, back and forth this morning on SMX. I'm not sure what this company is or what it does, but looks like it wants to try to get out of this consolidation here. That's SMX. Okay, so Palantir is still trying to get to 23. Let's see, CMG up, 20 Fords. Oh, Ford isn't that, it got to 20? Is that what you're saying? No, that's not what he's saying. Ford had earnings yesterday, and then it had a pretty good. It looked like it had a pretty good report. Went to about 1280, kind of hung around that area, popped in pre-market, and now we're dropping.
We got another low volume move here. 670,000 traded, up 20% right now on GoGo, GOGO.
Let's take a look at GoGo. Ooh, I'm not seeing too much price action. Did this get halted? No, it didn't.
Yeah, the low volume. It could be a pre-runner or a nothing.
The news is NetJets Inc.'s new connectivity agreement extending 20-year relationship with GoGo. That's today.
Today's the 7th of February?
Yep. Right? Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so sign an agreement. What do we have any, financial details there?
Good question.
Are they kind of giving us an idea of what this contract's worth? We can look at some other metrics while we check that out, like short interest. This thing could also be squeezing here too, because we have 12.77% of the float shorted and 8.61 days to cover. So that is going to create a squeeze environment on upside. And could see this. I mean, we could get up close to 12 in this one, but it is very slow moving.
Yeah, the thing is, for me, I would need to see a much bigger move than just a couple bucks for this to be worth it.
Yeah, and for me, I want to see some more volume than this. This thing is just not really making the moves that I would like to see, especially for a 20-year agreement. What does this company do exactly? In-flight connectivity system. Okay, so this is basically Wi-Fi for airplanes. I guess that's what my understanding is. Okay. So when they charge you like $7 for Wi-Fi on the flight, this is probably where the pockets it's going into. XPO says Juan Mercado. Let's take a look at that one.
And guys, just so you know, anything that I buy or sell, like I could just change my mind and sell it instantly. So you know, if I say that I get long or anything in something, just know that I can be out in, you know, for any reason at any time.
Absolutely. So this one, they just had their earnings, and I don't see a guide, but this one is moving off of that. It's got some high institutional ownership, so there probably won't be you're probably going to see a lot more buying than selling on this for a period of time, since there's probably a lot of institutions that are just going to hold on to this. But it's got 101 million float, so it's going to likely be slow moving.
And so far, nothing in my snap trade, guys. But I did get some profit here in PLTR. That was a nice move.
And shot. I think we saw. I think we traded shot before. Jupiter Wellness. Yeah. Okay. So this one's moving.
SPY going all the way back up towards the highs here. We broke real body on SPY. Looks like 496.45 is the high though.
Did we put in a new all-time high yet? I think we did. Looks like we did.
Earlier, yeah, I think earlier we did, right?
Yeah, 496.44. That's the all-time high. All right, well, we did it, everybody. Pat yourself on the back. Another all-time high in the SPY.
You know, this first all-time high here was the first time I think in a long time that I wasn't excited at all. It's just like kind of just wow, this is doing the same thing. This thing is a beast in one direction, then you know it just keeps on going. It's a freight train.
Oh well. Yeah, imagine my reaction when I was expecting there to be a market reversal and start trading down once we hit 480. You know, right around the previous high from 2022. I thought we were double topping in this, and we're not.
You ever have one of those runs where just when you get a short thesis, it goes long, and just when you finally get a long thesis, then it starts going down, and it just seems like you have a run where it just keeps doing it like that, and you're just like, man, do I suck at this or what? And you know, it's like,
or am I bugged?
Right. Those times, I think they really can impact us as a trader, and you know that's the thing. Like, the SPY just continuing to beast out here. There's an all-time high right there.
Yeah, and PLTR is just absolutely ripping right now. Went right past 23.
Because I closed my position.
That's what I'm saying. We're bugged. Oh, Andy closed his position. All right, everybody pile in.
That's how it works. At least that's what I say. My conspiracies get even worse. Like I said, it's like even when you're putting in your order and you haven't put it through yet, it's like somebody can see what you're even thinking basically by setting up your order.
Yeah, you know, level 2 data, of course they can see some of that, but just what you're thinking, they're somehow able to see as well. They must be seeing all the same stuff we are. Okay, so Hollow now is now pushing up towards that 575 level that I have here. The previous high was that we made earlier was 547, and we're getting up there.
Can't believe this SPY though, man. What a monster.
There must have been some kind of news to make a pop like that. That's a pretty interesting candle just to have out of blue. Don't see, unless it's the trade data that we got. All right, well, Hollow's coming back in. Couldn't break that that area in the 540s. Yeah, SMCI, geez. Still making new highs. So you're Glenn, you're holding for the the 50% fib. Let's see here. I mean,
That's some nice
absolutely
LTR.
Looks like shot hit a high at 386. That's coming back in a bit. Forward may have found a bottom. It's trying to reverse. Go still going. LT. Did you ever trade a ULT when you were mentioning it earlier?
AULT. I do. Let me see actually. No, I actually did. I did go instead. Big mistake, probably.
It really does look like Hollow. It does want to go higher. It might. Not sure.
Yeah, GLT
Sono.
all the way
Sorry.
back on the 5 minute to this 65. So looking for potential support and then a rejection if it does bounce here at about declining level 218. So not much.
Sono may have bounced. Still hasn't broken the 1939 high that it put in earlier, but slowly getting up there. Just waiting to see if we get a move in Hollow, HOLO. This is a low float one, so be careful.
I just got my popcorn right now for both the SPY and PLTR.
Oh, you're just watching those two right now?
Well, I don't know about you, but I really enjoy watching anything that's 100% ripper, anything that's a huge move like this. Even if I'm not trading, it's just fun to watch.
I just want to see which direction Hollow decides to go. It's kind of consolidating a bit.
Yeah, I'm looking for a potential change in direction here on this GLT.
Wow, AULT is just absolutely ripping. Not going to touch it though.
Weren't we talking about that before we got on here? About you get fixed on the ones that you're looking at, and then the ones that are going to do good. You kind of like you're so stuck looking at and trading what you're trading that you miss them.
Yeah, we were talking about that. And sometimes it's just okay. Well, I missed the move and it's going now, and there's a FOMO aspect for sure, but I don't chase because that I've been hurt that way before. I'm not going to do that to myself again. That FOMO can be an absolute killer. GLT just continues to go down. If we get, this might be a runner later on in the week or another week. Once we get a better idea of what this spin-off merger is going to do for the company, but until then, it might just end up going down.
Yeah, GLT straight up to that 65, just below it, and got rejected. That's another thing about these potential areas of rejection or these moving averages and stuff. I always consider a buffer. It's not like to the penny. Like I think that we're going to get rejected there. It could be a little buffer, just an idea of where price is going to go, rather than some sort of thing that's set in stone.
Yep. All right. AULT. I mean, that seems like that was the penny stock to be in. If anybody got that, great job.
And like you said, though, the problem with this is we are 54 cents. So really, really small stock here.
Looks like Hollow is having a hard time staying up here. Might see some downside here if we can't pull this back up.
AULT making a little bit of a new high here. 56% on this, 2.6 million traded.
Y'all have fun with that.
So you don't ever touch anything below $1.
I have sometimes. I just don't want to, especially, it's just, I don't have the conviction in these under $1 companies, and I feel like I am just setting myself up to fail if I get into some of these. So I'm just going to trade some of the names that look stronger to me. Not that these aren't strong names, but penny stocks, they're penny stocks for a reason.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I don't know about you guys, but I think penny trading changed a couple years ago. It just seemed to get a little more difficult and didn't get as many of those follow through moves that we used to see.
Yeah. Yeah, and I kind of noticed there's a little bit of a change too to how the penny stocks trade compared to, let's say, like 2020. You know,
Right,
and it
yeah.
might just be that there's just not as much participation in the markets as there was back then, because everybody was at home, everybody was getting stimulus, everybody was, you know, jumping on into Bitcoin and all these real speculative names. So there was a lot of speculation money coming into those names, and we just don't see that anymore because nobody has the money anymore. So that's just a going theory I have.
Typically, like something like AULT, I would see this as consolidation if this was a stronger name, and I would probably buy right here and look for a move right back up to the highs where I would take partial profit and then stop out at this point if we get back down to this again. But because this is such cheap stock, I mean, I don't really have that conviction you were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it is as a trader, you know, where we have conviction. We have to have conviction. And I don't know about you, but I'm too dynamic. I was talking to you about that earlier in my trades, and I need more of a system to keep myself in check so I don't have my emotions drag me into a direction that I don't want to be.
Right. Looks like Hollow might be coming back. Q, and I got your post there. So 3.6 billion enterprise value. That's what the merger will end up being. I'll write that down so I can maybe do some math later. See if we can get an actual price per share amount.
And guys, I don't have shorts available on Hollow, but this would be an area that I would look to short right here personally and stop out if it breaks to make a new high. I would not recommend that for just anybody else because, I mean, that's incredibly risky. But yeah, this looks like a great area.
Yeah, it's certainly looking heavy, especially with the number of upper shadows we have there.
Sometimes it's worth the risk.
It's got a number of bids coming in. If it breaks 5, then it's looking pretty good to go down.
Well, it'll go down because I'm not in it. And see, if I had those shorts available, then it would probably be stopped.
All right. So
whoever it is with the bigger account that's more sophisticated than me, good job, bravo, very smart. You know, they do great at kicking my butt.
NYCB still trying to go lower here. We printed a low of 364, came back up near VWAP, and now we're coming back down to that 364 level in short order here.
You remember which one that was that we saw that was all the way down at support earlier? That's not it, is it?
I don't remember. Let me see if I can look here through my list. Was it GRDI? No, it couldn't have been that one. I couldn't tell you, to be honest, which one that was. Maybe Ford? I don't know.
No, it's one of those penny rippers that it had pulled nearly all the way back to support. It's the one that I gave the XBIO talk on. But I can't remember what ticker that was. So AULT ripping back towards the highs, all the way back up to real body, and here we go. Looks like we're about to break out on AULT
again.
I wouldn't be surprised if this goes into a halt at any given point.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised it didn't go to a halt from that last 5-minute candle it just had.
GLT broke below 65 EMA.
Yeah, it rejected. Yeah.
All right. What else is working here, folks? SMCI almost lost 700.
DS says that the stock you were talking about earlier was GLT.
Oh.
Oh yeah, GLT for the.
Oh, because it was coming up to that 65 EMA, and it went through. That's one.
Hey, born to be free.
Hey, good morning.
Fancy seeing you here.
All right, looks like Hollow is trying to push up again, and it may get it this time. Is this the 575 push? Let's see.
And I grabbed some AULT here.
There
Actually,
we
I
go.
grabbed a little more AULT. I've been in the process of grabbing this.
Ooh. Rejected Hollow.
You guys definitely don't follow anything that I do. I trade like I play chess. You know, I win some and I lose some, and that's what I just got to keep reminding myself. You know that we can't come in here and win every battle. So it's all about growing as a whole rather than each individual trade.
Yeah, everybody should. And this isn't advice. This is just what I like to do. But I like to have a trade plan, or at least some rules, so that I don't lose my entire account. I'd like to keep trading, and if I follow my rules, I know I can continue to do that.
I mean, that's the whole thing. Staying in the game. Staying in the game is that's the main thing. And I think that people focus too much on that number they wrote down at first. They looked at the trades, they looked at how much money they can make over this given amount of time, and they have that number and they're looking there. And I don't really think that's the place that we should be looking. But
yeah, I don't ever come into this thinking you're about to, get a lottery ticket and win. I just don't think it happens. You're going to find runners. You're going to be in some of these that give you some great trades, some great profits, but it's going to take a lot of trades in order for this to be life-changing.
right, whenever I trade something like AULT, I'm trading a position that really it's either going to give me some lunch today, or else it's going to not, and it's nothing that's going to hurt me.
That's it. PLTR.
I don't know about you guys, but I saw all these guys that put in they're showing these huge penny ripper moves where they're like, I made $9 million in BLT today. It's like, it's just, I think it makes new traders have this idea that,
right.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, you had it right on the head there. You see all these other folks saying, "Oh, I did this in this penny stock, or I did that in that stock." Okay, so that's great. Talk about your losers.
Yep.
I don't believe that anybody's just constantly getting these winners and never losing. Losing is part of the name of the game.
And the thing is I've been the person that won a lot more than I was losing, but I was giving up more in some of those losses, and that's just also unsustainable. As I trade, the longer I trade, I just want to plug those holes in the ship. That's the whole thing.
Lost more on low floats than I ever made. Yeah, those low floats, they're just so easily moved around, and you'll end up seeing the entire float get traded multiple times a day. And you can absolutely lose everything if you pile in too heavily into a penny stock like that, and it just gets cut in half. So too your account.
Yeah, just like I said earlier, if you've lost an entire year's worth of gains in one day, hit the like.
Here's a good example. If you had tried to chase alt, you'd probably be in a world of pain right now.
Well, I tried to chase alt, but I'm not in a world of pain. I'm actually at a point where it can't even really hurt me, even if it goes to zero. And that way I get to capture all the gains if it really moves, and I don't have to worry about all that risk if it doesn't.
Lynn, unless you are the Fed government and can print money, Andy. That's a whole other animal we probably won't be able to get into today, but it's funny.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. I tried so hard on some of these plays like AULT, and just I found that each time that there was more disappointment than not. So by lowering the bar, for these plays and making it to where they can't even hurt me if they go to zero, but I get to capture all those gains. That started really looking nice for my account, because then I didn't have to worry about where I was going to close or when I was going to close or anything. I could just sit and let it do its thing.
Looks like Hollow wants to go down now.
Do you guys find that it's easier to let your basically, if you don't have a lot of money in it, let it run and not really worry about it so much?
Yes. And, sometimes when I want to let things run like that, I'll do a trailing stop just so I don't have to, think about that. And I know that even if it does come back in, at least that stop will have given me a decent profit, because it's just going to keep moving up as the price goes up. And then at a certain point, when it starts to come back in, well, then it'll stop moving up and it'll just be my stop.
Yeah, I found that little bit in penny stocks I was telling you, though, where I put in an amount that I don't care if I lose the whole amount, it adds up at a certain level. But then I found that there's other plays, like my options plays or trading futures and stuff, that they add up just a little bit more, So I just want to make each category as stable as possible and let them all do their work together in little increments. And if it carries me fast, it's good. But, I just prefer not to care anymore and not to let it stress me out if it does go against me,
Yeah. And every time that I get into something and it starts going positive, the first thing I think about is, where am I going to set my stop? How am I going to not lose on this? And part of the plan is to, you have an idea of what you'd like to get out of a trade. But as soon as I'm in that trade and as soon as I start turning positive, I keep getting this this voice in my head saying, okay, time to set the stop, time to raise it, time to not lose on this trade every time.
For me, what I like for that is partial profit. Taking that partial profit and then stopping out at or about where you got in, that really, that it makes it a lot easier as well.
Yeah. Looks like GoGo is about to go. Sono coming in. I think Sono may have double topped, and I don't know about Sono, to be honest with you, at this point. If this is a double top, an intraday double top, we might be coming down here under 19.
Yeah, I need GoGo to make at least like a $2 or $3 move.
We are getting, the volume really needs to start picking up with GoGo, but we are getting a 15 EMA crossing the VWAP here on the 5-minute. That tends to be a good sign. But the lack of volume is making me think otherwise. Who knows? We'll probably end up seeing some whale come on in and go, oh, hey, this one needs to move. Boom, there it goes. Hollow back up over 5. This thing is needing to choose a direction. We're just kind of consolidating up here. I see SMX being mentioned again. I'm just going to pull this back up and see what the hubbub is about. Still trying to break out of that consolidation. Crow, I saw you were asked earlier, do you have levels for SMX, Crow? It looks like it's trying to get out, and I saw we did print 53 cents after the open. What do you have above that? Just curious, if you don't mind sharing. Yeah, AULT. That one was great until it wasn't.
I have AULT right now at 47 cents.
Okay.
Start microscopic with these things, and if we do get a move or a ripper, it's good. And like I said, if it goes down all the way, it's no sweat.
Okay. Thank you, Crow. Sorry, I didn't mean that. I was listening to what you said too, but I was also reading what Crow had said back to me.
Oh, no problem at all, man. Yeah, just I just I rate all the things that I'm doing on based on how much of garbage it is. I got a shirt that says "Garbage Man," and anyways. But so if it's going to be garbage, then I definitely want to make sure that it's that low stress position that is going to pay me well, or it's going to take little, and risk to reward is right where I need to be, so I don't raise my blood pressure.
Now, do you come full circle and hold ticker WM in your portfolio?
I should. I never had good. I used to. WM was pretty horrible back when I used to trade it.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, unless it's purely having to do with the company's management, I can't imagine a company like that would ever have growth problems. There's always going to be trash.
Right. Yeah, and I'm suspecting the AULT is going to go right below my number for a rejection, but we did pop a lower shadow on that 65 EMA on the 5-minute, and basically, holding that as sort of a launch pad. We got the declining 65 to compete with over on the 15-second, which is at 45.88. My number's at 47 thereabouts.
Quantum saying market's headed lower. I mean, that's probably going to be true for some of these, but the SPY is still saying we're going higher. It's at 497.50. All right.
SMX getting a lot of volume
Do your
here.
thing,
61 million
bro.
traded. Got another 100% ripper here.
The SMX, yeah. Pro was on. I think was on this one all morning.
Yeah, that thing is getting a ton of volume right now.
There it goes. 60 cents.
That's the problem, though. Again, we got another sub-dollar, penny.
Well,
that's
that's my problem, though. There's plenty of other stuff I can be trading, and I've done some with Hollow today and PLTR. That's all I've traded, but didn't capture that move to 23. That would have been awesome. In PLTR,
I'm not calling the company's garbage, man, but it's all just different levels of garbage, though.
No, it's called a trader's garbage. No. This is just absolutely amazing. Just how we're just continuing to print these new all-time highs in this SPY. What's driving this? Is it Tesla that's driving this today? No pun intended. What about Apple?
Like Tesla dropped off, and we are coming right to that rejection on the 200 EMA. And see, with bigger tickers like this, a lot of times when you get that rejection, that is, instead of looking for a short, I'm usually looking for a long and looking for it to reclaim that level. On that reclaim, it usually ends up being a really nice move.
Yeah, Lynn and Randy love trading Tesla, and they do really good at it. I haven't taken too many Tesla trades. As a matter of fact, Tesla, I haven't traded nearly as much as I did back in 2020 and 2021 when it was just absolutely ripping and getting split and then ripping some more. That was a great time to own Tesla. Remember when it was, do you recall, I think it was 2020 when it got beaten up all the way down to about $3?
Tesla?
Yeah, it got absolutely smacked around. It went all the way. I mean, maybe that's not the right amount, but this was up before all the splits that it was doing. It went all the way down.
I remember before those splits how much it got killed basically, and the swings, the price moves were incredible.
And then it just absolutely took off and didn't look back.
Yeah, I believe that's right when Jason was beating that drum a lot, and I'm guessing Jason did pretty well on that. That was awesome.
Yeah, it's funny. One of the biggest reasons why I started getting so into the Benzinga's shows and the platform was a trade that he did with XSPA. Remember them?
Yep, I remember hearing him say it too.
Yeah, and I was watching Pre-Market Prep, and they were talking about that stock and his theory around it. And as he was talking about his idea around it, there was news that was dropping that was essentially what he was talking about, that they were going to start doing COVID testing in airports, and the stock absolutely ripped. And it was amazing to see that all unfold in real time. So I was pretty hooked after that. That was one of the coolest things I'd ever seen.
Yeah, I know. I was pretty impressed by basically him and Luke, all their research. It was pretty great time.
What else do we got to look here? Everything looked like it's headed down now. GRDI just absolutely fell out of bed. Ford down, GoGo coming down. I just have to hold off and wait to see if the market finds a bottom here, because things are getting shaken out. except for Hollow. That one just absolutely blasted off, and it looks like it's about to get halted or not. I mean, this one went right through the 575 level like it was nothing. We're up to 618 in Hollow. Coming back in.
Okay, so they say you got to risk it for the biscuit, and I'm risking it right now, going long in Tesla.
What's everybody doing out there? Yeah, Easy Mike, remember X-Fi. It was a great trade. It was a great idea too, and he and Jason absolutely nailed it. I was just, yeah, airport relaxation company that turned into COVID testing. Absolutely, that was a great amount of research, and to watch that unfold was special, absolutely special to watch. Now I want to see what Hollow wants to do. Do we come in? Do we go higher? This thing is really moving though.
And
Looks like
took some profit in that strangle on Snap just a little bit there.
New high of the day in PLTR.
Also in profit on GoGo right now and Tesla, but
looks like Paramount's trying to find a bottom. Trying to hold above that 13.15 level.
gotta say,
All right, Hollow.
nice day.
Looks like, yeah, it's definitely shaping up to be that way. Hollow just keeps ripping higher. Got some resistance at 633. Get through that, then it's probably going to 650. First, yeah, 650. And it's making its way there. 644, a new high.
I would love to see GoGo drop to 0 right now. That would be an incredible day.
Well, the next level I have in Hollow is 725. And it's beelining right for it, it seems.
You guys want to hear some garbage that I have? I told you guys I like to put on a position size that I don't mind losing the whole position size. So anyways, I am holding and have seen no action in both Tilray and HYMC. So there's some garbage that's in my portfolio.
Tilray's going to be, so whoever was asking earlier about the marijuana stocks, Tilray could end up being a really good one, but we need to get that legislation passed, or we need to get the drug deschedulized. Hollow. Sorry.
This is more comedy than anything, guys. But Hollow, HOLOW, is 324,000, and it's up 100% almost, right? 97% right now. It's not something that I'm going to grab, but it could be trading just in sympathy because of, you know, the name.
Hollow W, that's the warrants though, right?
Oh, is it? Okay, never mind. Sorry, guys. Yep, I didn't recognize that.
No problem.
I thought it was funny for a second, but then it's not.
Yeah,
funny anymore.
yeah. It's so funny. No, Hollow. This thing is just crazy right now. We're almost at the 725 level that I had, but we're pulling back pretty handily now. Got up to 704 before the pullback. What a rip. Oh, shot might be coming back here. Everybody else was trading shot earlier. I think you're getting your movement you're looking for. Went down to about VWAP, went underneath it. Now we're getting some volume to push it back up to 378. SMX had a nice pop to 61, and now it has a matching red candle. Yeah, Hollow, geez.
When you're looking at something like AMD or Tesla or anything, how much weight do you put on what's happening in the SPY on your decision making for that particular trade? Well,
The broader market is more of a gauge. So if I'm going to be trading some of these bigger names, particularly if I'm going to be trading Tesla or one of the ones that's really helping move the SPY, I'll look and see what the SPY is doing, just because it's got that relationship. And there's that phrase: "A rising tide lifts all ships," just as a sinking tide lowers them. So because of the exposure that that Tesla has in SPY, I think that's I'm going to definitely look at those and see how they're trading that day if I'm going to get into it. The thing is that when it comes to Tesla and names like that, those are going to be longer holds for me. I typically don't day trade those.
Okay.
I like to trade the ones that have the big volume movement. And usually when it comes to Tesla or those bigger names, that big movement is going to typically happen on earnings or some major significant piece of news that doesn't come out very often. That would probably be the only times I would trade those. But normally I like to do the ones that have the volume, the big volume. And speaking
as far as that goes, I have different compartments basically, and to make up for the volume or like big penny ripper type whatever, just trade options and things like Tesla or the SPY. Whenever we're seeing these things. But as far as that, what I was asking you, I look more at Tesla to see what the SPY might do rather than look at the SPY to see what Tesla might do. And I would look at the SPY a lot, but Tesla is just a little bit crazy sometimes, a little more, anyways, it's a little bit more of a wacky trade. So, but yeah, a lot of times though, if I see Tesla do a huge drop, then I can almost be more assured that the SPY is going to reject at that area that I'm looking at.
Lynn Williams would probably be the best to ask a question like that, since they trade Tesla quite regularly. For me, I know that Tesla, they don't have dividends. They don't have any. They haven't done any buybacks, so I don't really want to get into something that's not going to try to create value for the shareholders. It just doesn't interest me. It might be good for trading, but I just try to stay away from Tesla these days, just because I don't think it's going to have the same momentum and movement that it did in the past when EVs were taking off. EVs are really out of favor right now. I just stick with this. Man, look at Hollow go. It's at 775 now. Who's still playing this?
And AULT rejected right at my number, which happens to be the VWAP.
Wow. Yeah. So I would tend to look more towards the SPY, just because I don't think that Tesla should be a Max 7 in my opinion. So I want to stick with look at the basket of companies that are doing better, like Microsoft, Google, Meta, things that actually are creating better value for their shareholders.
Right, makes sense.
You have about 5 trades in Hollow. I bet they're all green too. Amazing. What a move. This is why it's so much fun. GLT. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say GLT is actually starting to get some attention. I think it's back above its 65 EMA, trying to get back up to VWAP, which currently is at $2.33.
What look at GLT on the 1 minute. That convergence right there with the 65 and the 200, that rejection, or that reclaim. That's what I'm looking for. But the problem is, if we're looking for a reclaim here, we might be contending with the VWAP immediately,
Yeah, and that's why I was mentioning the VWAP, because I think if we do get this push up here, that the VWAP is going to be probably the exit or just before it.
See, that's what I do. I like to look for something like that. Exactly. But I prefer if I take partial profit, but if I get it all and just get out, it's fine. But that's what I'm looking for, like just the next level where it's going to reject. It's sort of like I said before, ping pong.
Yeah, and then we can also, look at how it was trading in the morning here. We have that consolidation just after 10 o'clock, but before then, there's a big level here at about we'll call it basically right where VWAP is. So it kind of lines up with VWAP. We have the bottom of that consolidation from this morning. So it makes it an even better level to me at this point. We have that consolidation and we have VWAP. So, somewhere between 230, 233 is probably going to be where the price gets to before it turns around. If we can move past this 10 o'clock consolidation. Looks like Zim is just coming back. Couldn't get under 12. Been a great trading vehicle, though, Zim. Okay, well, I guess Hollow is going to be whatever it wants to be. Next level I have in Hollow is 850. Now, I guess it's not really going to matter anymore because every time I've got a level, it's just absolutely been blasting through it. One of these days, or one of these moments, that the level will matter. I have to say, though, 725 is a pretty good support level. It has been for the past few minutes.
I hate when I let myself get into something that has a bad spread in options. I don't know about you guys, but that is the worst.
Jim, you have to save that for when Ryan gets back next week. He took 8 trades in Hollow, and now you're able to pay for his golf all week. He'll love to hear that. SMCI is got an interesting bull pennant formation happening here. I'm looking at the 5-minute. Been consolidating since it topped out at 6.99 and 76 cents. If it can stay up here and push through 7, then I have no idea how high it goes, but it's probably going higher if it can get back up to 7 here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if back when AI was ripping, I don't even think I saw AI as much as I see this ticker on Twitter, X, and also social media pretty much.
Yeah, the whole AI craze is just really thrown me off. Because when it started, all the movement started, we didn't even have really that many AI products at all. And now we're looking more towards the revenue from those the products, especially the ones that NVIDIA was announcing. And we've had AI for a while. IBM's had AI for a long time, and they were the big winner in their earnings. Okay, look, SMCI is really starting to go here. The pattern wasn't lying to us, it seems. Is it going to get to 7?
See, something like this, when you have a history of this thing just being a monster, when you have a nice tight consolidation like this, it just makes sense that this is risk to reward is there.
Yeah, they had a good. I look for patterns too, and this is a pretty good bull pennant here.
Yeah, it's looking pretty tight.
All right, it's getting up there. I'm not in this one, but if you folks are trading SMX, I think you guys got a good move here. To wait and see how it plays out.
I'll tell you, one day I got into one of these, though. It had that nice tight consolidation, and basically the whole entire day, it just stayed tight in that consolidation. Never broke out the whole day. Like you expect something like that to only just have maybe a couple hours or something and then move, but and then the next day it was still just kind of sitting there.
Yeah, and I've noticed that sometimes when you do get those stocks that will consolidate for such a long period of time, they will start to you'll start to see the buyers pour in, and then they'll just absolutely rip. We've had plenty. I think we had one of those yesterday or earlier this week. I know that RBSN had done that. I see that we're starting to move on to a different subject here, but Walter Lyons is saying that NYCB is set to be lamb for Isaac after all. Yeah, this thing is not looking great. Could be like they were saying in the headlines, First Republic 2.0. And just to bring this up real quick, I don't know if anybody decided they were going to watch Jerome Powell on 60 Minutes over the weekend, but he did kind of give you some hints about what he thinks is going to be happening. Did mention that more banks would fail, so that expectation is I find helpful because we do need some downside. Watch these regional banks. They could be the catalyst to the next big down move in the SPY.
Yeah, we've been kind of ignoring a lot of the destruction, you know, a lot of the negative news.
Mm-hmm. Well, the market has for sure. Yeah, you know, we got all this conflict in the Middle East and China, Russia, Iran, all this stuff happening. New all-time highs in the SPY.
And the SPY pulling just back to that rising level, 65 EMA, 497.04 right now. Perfect. And that's why I love it, guys.
Yeah, my thought on downside in the SPY is getting going up in smoke pretty easily here.
And it's
It
usually
seemed like we
just
were-
at that moment when it does what you want afterwards. You know, like
Yeah.
just when you get wore out on it.
You get up and walk away, and then you come back, and it did the thing.
Doesn't that happen a lot?
Mm-hmm. It's like it's like they know how long the tolerance of some traders are. Like, okay, it's been about 5 minutes. I know they're looking at something else now. Just feels like that's the way.
I mean, the thing is like just the collective psychology. I don't know. Trading is the coolest thing that I've ever done other than playing chess. It just reveals a lot about our own psychology more than anything else. But like just watching the way the market does its thing, and then you can understand because you're a trader and you've seen and heard everything, you know, what basically just, I don't know. It's a beautiful thing. That's all I'm trying to say.
It is a beautiful thing. It's
Trying
a lot
to
of
say
fun
it,
too.
unable to.
What's a lot of fun right now is watching Hollow decide if it wants to go up or down from here after making an 819 high. It wasn't that long ago. We were just talking about whether or not it's going to get to 6. Well, we got our answer, didn't we?
Looks like we may get that consolidation now.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what we got to think too. Once we reach a certain level, when it's moved a lot, you know, we're going to have to look for that consolidation at some point.
High risk zone for Hollow? Yeah, I can see that. Well, we didn't axe anybody. Money Mitch decided to go and pursue his goals elsewhere. And we wish him the best.
Yeah, he just posted something big coming. He's building a computer, it looked like.
Let's see. What are we looking at, folks? Anything making some anything setting up? Looks like we finally got a drop in SMCI. So it couldn't get up to 700. Oh, now we're really going down. Hollow still trying to. So let's see here. Jonathan, Ryan is on vacation. He will be back Monday.
Yeah, they were saying poor Ryan as far as the weather over there in Arizona.
Yeah.
Somebody else said Ryan loves the rain though. So
he was saying that to me before we came on stream earlier this week about how he was like, yeah, it's gonna be raining. I'm not gonna be able to do as much golf. And you know, I hope that they get at least get a dry day so that they can do something outside. But yeah, he was not happy about the weather. So I hope he finds some time to do something fun.
Hey guys.
Hello.
It is time to transition over to our all access. We have AB hanging out in the background. I'm gonna pull him up for right now, actually.
Well, thanks so much, guys. It was great talking to you.
Hey, hi AB. Thank you, Andy, and thank you guys.
Yeah.
I'll see you again.
Thank you, Alyssa13 and Andy. Of course, thank you to everyone who tuned in to Benzinga's live trade today. We are going to transition to our all access. If this is your first time joining us for an all access segment, this is where we bring on executives from publicly traded companies to learn more about their story. And I'm excited today. I will be speaking to Scott Absher, the co-founder and CEO of ShiftPixy, on the NASDAQ, trading under ticker PIXY. Again, thank you guys for everyone who tuned into Benzinga's live trading. All right, let's go ahead now and give Mr. Absher our very special Benzinga All-Access welcome and learn more about the company. All right, Scott, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning, AB. Doing well.
Glad to hear it. Where are you joining us from?
Miami, sunny Miami.
Ooh, I'm jealous. We'll be down there in a couple months for our Cannabis Capital Conference, so maybe
Nice.
we'll have to reconnect then. But before we get going, do you mind just giving us a brief overview of what ShiftPixy is and what you guys do?
Sure. ShiftPixy is a human capital management platform. It's a cloud-based, fully mobile platform that allows people that in our particular case, shift work, connect to shift work opportunities and just create better connections between the people that need the workers and the workers themselves.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, I know the gig economy just continues to grow, more and more people working that way opposed to traditional 9-to-5s. So I guess let's just talk about how big is that market and how do you fit in it? Like, how big is the entire human capital market right now?
Well, the entire human capital market is everybody that's working. The entire, well, in this case, we'll call it the U.S. workforce. But the subset that we focus on, where we saw some serious disruption that we thought we could get in and cure that disruption and actually monetize it well, was in the part-time labor markets. And what we saw was that turnover rates had escalated. There was an old tradition in part-time labor that you should expect 100% turnover. So anybody that started in December was gone before January. But with the advent of all the gig platforms, the Ubers, the DoorDashes, Postmates, et cetera, those offered new opportunities for people that were committed to working part-time. And as a result, the brick and mortar guys were kind of left holding the bag, so to speak. And those turnover rates that were traditionally 100% had gone to 300% and 400% because people had other things they could do by just flipping on their phone. So we saw that disruption that was created, that there was an opportunity for us to build a very elegant technology platform to go in there and reconnect the brick and mortar job opportunities to the people that work those opportunities.
Wow. And I mean, when you see, like, last week, we got just crazy job numbers released from the U.S. I mean, had way more jobs than anticipated. Does that include people working these gig type jobs?
I think it does now. People are able to keep track of that activity as well, but that would be in that mix as well.
Got it. All right, well, let's talk about the stock for a second. So I know there has been a lot of chatter about acquisition activity. Is there anything there that you can disclose about your efforts?
There is. In fact, the last time I was on Benzinga, it was to talk to the guys at SPAC Attack. And at that time, we had sponsored a SPAC to do a roll-up in the human capital management industry. And over a series of conversations with the SEC, it was clear that we probably, rather than sponsor the SPAC, we ended up shutting it down and returning all the capital to the investors. But that left us with this large pipeline of acquisition opportunities. So what we started doing last year was kind of repositioning and refitting and realigning all those acquisition opportunities that we had at the ready. And we also lined up the financing. So we started that process to put together a very large commercial facility to allow us to do these transactions. And that process started this past summer. We had hoped to initially get some of those closed and on the books in October, but in syndicated capital, aligning everybody up at the right time, it's like herding kittens. So, but we're kind of at the end of that process, and we'll probably be able to talk about the financing facilities that we've put in place, hopefully here in the next coming week or so. But again, we've got acquisitions that we've had in tow. We've got ready sellers. It's just a matter of the last pieces of the financing put to bed.
Got it. Well, sounds like some interesting developments on the way there. We'll have to bring you back on, Scott, when you've got some more details to share with us.
Sure.
So we talked about just how big this total addressable market is. I mean, the entire U.S. labor workforce. Which markets do you target?
Well, again, we're designed to fix a problem in the part-time labor markets, and that market for us is about 30 million workers in the U.S. nationally. So that's probably about 10% of the U.S. workforce. But the market subset that we really are focused on, especially with these acquisitions, is our legacy business was kind of built around restaurant operators. But the new business that we're rolling in and that we're doing the national roll up in is focused on industry. And there's a subset of labor across the board that works in big box retail, as an example, works in food production, works in e-commerce, works in fulfillment, supply chain. And it's a strata of labor that all of these companies have come to rely on. And it's probably the old version of the gig workforce. And so that's the market that we're going after. And it puts us in a very interesting position with very large companies. But again, we're taking technology to really elevate that engagement and really elevate interaction and opportunity for all the stakeholders in that subset of the workforce.
Got it. Well, how does ShiftPixy's technology unlock the markets that you're going after?
Yeah, it's a great question. What people are not paying attention to, this shift away from traditional labor to gig type labor was really driven by a personal preference and ease. People could flip on their mobile phone. It's always with them. It's a single largest common denominator, I would say, in our culture. It's usually the first thing people look at in the morning and the last thing they look at before they go to bed. But because of that, we saw an opportunity to take that mobile device and turn it into a gateway into everything work related. And if you're an employer or somebody that requires that type of labor, we wanted to make it really easy for you to access that labor force, communicate with them immediately. And in our particular case, we leverage a lot of AI to move people through all the interactions or machinations that you might say of a traditional work week. So we couldn't do that, or we couldn't go after that market that we're going after without this type of very elegant technology.
Got it. Well, Scott, do you have any, I guess, hot takes when it comes to the rest of the year, 2024? I mean, labor market seems still pretty hot right now. Do you think we'll continue to see the gig economy grow? Give me something, leave me with something juicy.
Well, look, there's a new kind of tagline that's being talked about up in the C-suite of very large corporations and a lot of the think tanks. And it's about this idea about a gig-enabled company or a gig-enabled workforce. The idea is that at the 30,000 foot view, they're seeing that there's people are interacting with work very differently than they did, say, 10, 15 years ago. So there's a growing sensitivity with large corporations to be more gig enabled. And so that obviously it's a great place for us to be playing. But we see nothing but stability down the road, especially in the U.S. workforce. The combination of these new technical engagements, but also you're seeing a lot of reshoring of old manufacturing jobs that are being brought back to the U.S., not the least of which is most significant is the chip industry. So all those things are driving the labor market. And I'd say our outlook in the U.S. is very positive through 24.
Yeah, it's been great to see some of that onshore and bringing some of those manufacturing jobs back on American soil, and especially, like you said, in an industry like the chip and semiconductor one that is growing. And so some definitely good paying, like strong jobs there. Well, yep. Scott, this has been an awesome conversation. Loved learning more about ShiftPixy. Again, guys, that is trading under the ticker PIXY up on the top of the screen there on the NASDAQ. Scott, we got to bring you back on next time you guys have some news you'd like to talk about.
That'd be great, AB. Love to do it.
All right, awesome. Well, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Have a great week.
Thank you. You too.
All right, guys. Thank you to everyone who tuned in to today's All Access. Thank you to ShiftPixy and Scott and the team over there. Exciting company again. I mean, like when you're looking at a market like the gig economy that's growing, it's always good to find companies, investable companies that are in a growing market. One of my favorite things to do as a long-term investor. With that, I'll leave you guys to it. Hope everyone stays green. Happy trading. We will be back tomorrow morning on pre-market prep 8 a.m. Some good content this afternoon too. Make sure to stay tuned. Cannabis Insider, as well as some other shows. So with that, I'll leave you guys to it. Smash the like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already.